Welcome back to the Boosted Bunny YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving a review on a remote start kit for the Nissan GTR. So the kit that I've picked up is from 12 Volt Solutions. It's one on the forums that a lot of people were pleased with. Now for the GTR, there's a number of different remote start kits. Really, the Car Kit Company and 12 Volt Solutions are the two that I've really seen. The reason I'm putting on remote start, and the reason I feel like a lot of people put remote starts on the car if it doesn't come with it, is for two reasons. One, to cool the car down in the summer in hot weather, and to warm the car up in the winter. One of the things that's also beneficial to warming the car up, and by that I mean the interior of the car, defrosting the windshield, all of that, is warming up the engine to save some time if you're a little impatient versus sitting in a cold car where the engine and oil heat up. Now there's a couple things about the GTR in general, and I haven't made a video on the top 5 things I don't like yet. I haven't done that yet, as I've got the car only for 6 months and I want to have it for a year before I really go through all of those things. But it is a GT of some sorts, you know, in the name GTR. So it is a GT, and it lacks a lot of things that true GTs have. One GT that is probably one of the top GT cars out there, I would say, is the Maserati Gran Turismo. That is full of creature comforts, blind spot assist, lane assist, those types of things, remote start, all of that, which the GTR doesn't have. It is definitely more of a racing car, of a sports car. Now, what's odd about that when I think about the GTR is if you take a fully loaded Maxima, Nissan Maxima, and a fully loaded Nissan GTR, there's a lot of things the GTR doesn't have. Heated steering wheel, doesn't have that. Remote start, doesn't have that. Blind spot monitoring, doesn't have that. Cruise control, it has that, but it doesn't have where it monitors the car in front of you and brakes for you with the distance, all that. GTR doesn't have it. Living in Chicago in the winter, if you follow this channel, you know by now, I only drive a couple thousand miles a year, but it would be nice, even though I park in a heated garage and barely drive, for the rare times that I go somewhere, I play a lot of sports, and so when the car's in the parking lot, to be able to remote start it. The 12 volt kit has a couple different options. One of those is going to be with the remote, so it uses the factory remote. Love that, because you can just hit the remote 3 times and it starts. So I'm going to put this on the car. I'm not going to show you how to install it. I will include a link in this video on how to install it. I'm going to use that same video to install this, but then I'll give a review on how easy the installation process is. I'll also go through some of the functionality and what you're going to like about it, and some things that you probably won't and that you should know if you're going to purchase this kit. 12 Volt Solutions. Let's take a quick look what's inside the box. This is going to be some of the cables. Here's the actual module. Now here are the instructions, which are paper instructions. It's supposed to be a 20-minute application, and you have some of the zip ties. And we are back. So clearly a different day. I'm outside. It only took me 10 minutes to put in the remote start, but crazy, I did have some issues. So randomly I got a bad module and had to send it back and get another one shipped. But after that, it only took 10 minutes. So here we are. We are outside of a PetSmart. Had to pick up something for my dog. Thought it'd be a good opportunity to test the remote start, show you guys how it works, and then just some limitations. So super easy. Most Nissan keys come with remote start, but the GTR key does not. You can see it just has a lock, unlock, the trunk opening, and then the panic button. So here we go. All you're going to do is you're going to hit the lock button 3 times, and it'll start up. Right, so that's how it works. You see there's a little bit of a delay, but it starts right up, fires right up, and it's just like a factory system. I mean, it's really so easy. Now, there are some limitations. On some premium cars, like the Maserati that I used to have, a lot of other cars out there, when you have remote start from the factory, it does a couple things. In cold weather, it will turn on the heated seats. If an option, a lot of times for you, it will turn on the rear windshield defroster, the mirror defrosters, as well as the front windshield defroster. With this system, it does not do that in the cold. So how you have to combat that is just before you get out of the car, if you know you're going to be using it, turn those things on so when you start it up. Same thing in the heat. Usually it will turn on cooled seats. If you have those, it'll turn on the air conditioning to cool down the car. Again, this doesn't do it. So you have to manually do that. So car's still locked. Have to unlock it like normal. Radio's on and everything. So all you'll have to do is just turn it on yourself manually. You can see it's off. Just turn it on manually and put on the ones that you want, and those will be on. Now the rear windshield will not be on because that is a toggle switch in the way that it works. So that is the limitation of it. But again, in terms of warming up the car, putting on the seat warmers, if you have the seat warmer on, it'll be on when you start the car because it is a toggle switch. Now the other thing is, with this remote start, you do get one error code, and that is the headlight error button before you start the car. And that's because the car is running, and so the headlights are not on, right? And when they should be on right now. So you'll get it just like here in the dash, headlight system failure. And that again is because obviously the car is not really started, it still has a remote start. Now the other thing that's unique about this remote start is in a lot of cars you have to put your foot on the brake and hit the start button again for the car to be activated. In this car, it started as long as you put your foot on the brake, you're ready to go. So you put your foot on the brake, shift in the gear, and you're ready to go. So that's it. Again, I'm going to include the links in the bottom for the instructions on how to install this. Super simple. Also include the link on where I bought it from, 12 Volt Solutions. Definitely check out my other videos, especially if you have a GTR. There's some other things in there for a lot of you daily drivers. Hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, I'd love your support with a subscribe, a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.